We are live, it says. Can you hear me and see me? Respond in the chat. Chris, I know you're there. And Ricky may have a new person, a new guest. And Kathy, are you out there? Can you folks hear me and see me? There's a little delay. For those of you who don't know, who are new, there's a little delay in the chat here. So I'm just sort of marking time and waiting for the reply back that you can hear me and see me. And everything's good. So I'm hoping that somebody's actually able to hear me and see me. I've not seen any replies yet. You know, the biggest fear we have when we run these webinars is that Kathy says yes. All right. The biggest fear we have when we run these webinars is that we're sitting here talking to thin air because nobody out there can hear us or see us. So welcome, everybody. Well, we went from a pretty big group on Tuesday to a relatively small group today. Somebody else just jumped in. Who's there? Let me go take a look. Debbie just jumped on. Hello, Debbie. Hello, Debbie. All right. Great. Well, we seem to have a relatively small group today, and there's a couple things on my mind. First off, is there any feedback from the webinar we did on Tuesday with Adam and Justice? What did you folks think of that? I hope everybody got something out of it, and I wonder if you've gone and watched the videos. Video number 2 in the series went up today. And hey, Bob Miller jumped on. Hello, Bob. And Bob, I was just asking if folks got anything out of the webinar on Tuesday with Justice and Adam, and I'm hoping they did. Ricky, welcome. You are new. You've never been on one of these before, and I hope you can see your chat. And I know if you have anything to say, you can type into it. For those of you who have been a little bit afraid of doing video, great Webby, referring to Tuesday. For those of you who have been a little bit afraid of doing video, I'm going to do a screen share for just a second. I'll be right back. And so here goes the screen share. So we have a whole new trend in how to do video if you're afraid of video. For those of you who haven't seen it, this is Bob Miller's video this morning. And Bob has developed a new technique for doing video for those of you who are afraid to be on camera. The technique is called go out before the sun rises, so you don't have to be on camera. You can just talk to the camera. Bob, I gotta love it. I gotta absolutely love it. Great, Ricky. Great, thanks. One of the other things I'd like to ask you folks is, and I know I haven't brought anybody out today, and I have a reason for that, but one of the other things I'd like to ask is that these webinars, they're partially for me, but they're mainly for you. So I'm going to actually post in the chat also. I would like you to begin to tell me if there's a list of topics that you would like to cover. And I can be sure that we cover the things that you're interested in. Now, I know that at least one of the people on here doesn't have MLSP, and that's okay. Has anyone actually tried to use the funnelizer in the new funnelizer. And what I thought I would do today, Bob did one the other day, but not my face. What I thought I would like to do today is just give you the briefest look at the funnelizer and tell you a few of the things that I've learned about it. Now, I know for a couple of you that are on here, this is going to be pretty deep because you're not actually using that aspect right now. How about fear of failure? What about it, Debbie? Hey, you want to come out and talk to us? Does anybody want to come across? Does anybody want to come across and talk to us out loud? I know Debbie had surgery and she's got her foot still probably all wrapped up. So she probably isn't interested in coming out and talking to us. Okay. So what I want to do real briefly is just expose you to Funnelizer. And the reason for doing that is a couple of weeks ago, we did a training on MITS capture pages and how to generate capture pages using MITS. And I'm going to tell you that from now on in, we probably ought to be using Funnelizer. And the reasons are that it does everything that MITS does. I can't find anything that it doesn't do. And it's very, very simple to use. There's a few nuances to it. And it's completely integrated into MLSP. What are you trying to tell me, Bob? You want to come across because you want to test your camera? Okay. Bob's coming over. Debbie's got her hand up. Don't don't bring me across. No. Okay, here comes Bob. Your camera worked this morning once you got it going on the Hangout with Bert. There you are. I can see you.
Cool.
Now, does that mean you're going to draw mustaches on my face?
I tried to do it this morning at Bert's call.
The one thing that
Debbie,
is
Debbie wants to come over too.
Debbie?
Yeah.
No, she's got her hand up.
She wants to know. She said she will in the chat. She keeps saying yes.
Really? All right. Here we go. We'll see if I don't. Let's see what happens. The one thing that I would say, Bob, is that there's a window behind you that's really bright.
Okay, let me, maybe I'll turn it down.
So what that's doing is that it's screwing up the camera.
Yeah, I'm in a different place here. Is that better? Still pretty bright, huh?
Yeah, it's really bright.
Oh well. I'm either bright or dark, huh? I'm one or the two.
So once again, Debbie's got her hand up. I'm trying to give you permission to come across, but I think you've got it blocked.
Oh well.
No, I don't know what you saw in the chat. Yeah, Debbie says she said yes. You're saying yes in the chat, but there's something blocking you. I don't know what it is. Once again. Are you seeing the message saying I'll come to? Are you seeing the message that you have to click on to bring you across? Yeah, you know what? I don't know what's going on. Sorry, Debbie, I can't get you across this morning. I don't know what's going on. We'll work on that. We'll make it a side project. Okay. Let me take, I don't want to take a long time with this. I'm going to take probably less than 10 minutes, but I want to jump over to Funnelizer for just a moment to give you folks an idea of what's out there. So, and Ricky, for you that hasn't been on this before, sometimes we get into technical details, sometimes we get into a lot of different things. It really depends on what people are looking for. But Funnelizer is one of the new features of a thing called My Lead System Pro, and I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it is it's a lead generating platform. It's a training platform. It's a marketing platform. And for those of you who have Funnelizer and those of you who will have it, you find it under My Websites. You find the Funnelizer link. I'm just going to click on it. Very easy to find, and I'm going to tell it to go ahead and launch Funnelizer. All it's telling me here is if this isn't a personal computer, da-da-da, you know, the usual kinds of messages. Before I actually launch Funnelizer, there's a click here to toggle instructions, and that'll bring up a series of videos that will walk you through the essentials of how to use Funnelizer. But there's a few things that I've found. I've actually created a couple of funnels, complete funnels. And the other thing I'm going to show you is that you're going to see something up here that may raise some questions, and just leave it at that. When the time comes, all will be revealed. All will be revealed. So, all I have to do, it's taken me into Funnelizer. All I have to do now is simply say create funnel, give the funnel a name. Let's call it Lens Play. We'll just call it Lens Play Funnel. And give the funnel, it also needs a slug. And what's the slug? The slug is going to be the URL of the funnel itself. It's going to be the address. Bob, you're making a heck of a lot of noise.
Oh, sorry.
Can you mute yourself?
Let me mute myself.
Yeah. So I'm just going to call it Lens Play Funnel here too as well. So I just give it a name, and if I could spell, that'd be all right. And create my funnel, and that's it. Pretty much the funnel is now created, and all we've got to do is begin to add pages to it. So, as you know, typically the first page we're going to add to a funnel is an opt-in page. That's the page where people are going to come give us their email address, and we're going to send them either to an offer or to a sales page or something. So let me be really clever and call this first page of my funnel opt-in. Now, you see how creative I am. Opt-in. And down below here, I can select all the templates, and we have opt-in templates, we have sales templates, we have thank you pages. Let me select an opt-in template. There are a bunch of them we can choose from, and you can see, you can go down and look at this entire list. Let me do something really simple. We'll click the background image opt-in, and all I'm going to do is say use template. Now, one of the tricks that I've learned here is if you just sort of just come in and click in this template anywhere, you get a preview of it, and you get lost and can't figure out where you are. You have to click on the use template. So there it is, use template, and now I'm going to tell it.
Len, we can only see you. We can't see the screen.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
We're watching your pretty face.
Huh?
Watching your pretty face.
That's not good. That's not good. Thank you, Bob. Screen share. Did I screw up and not share the screen? Now can you see it?
Yes.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Let me just do that then. What I'll do is I'll just close it and start over again, MLSP, and I'll go pretty quickly so that I don't bore you guys to death. So I'm just logging into MLSP, into the back office, and now under My Websites, MLSP Funnelizer. Click on it. There it is. And again, if I toggle instructions, I'll get the videos. I'm going to launch Funnelizer. And I'm going to, it's already created it because I was doing this a minute ago, so it's Lens Play Funnel, and we're going to have to edit it. That's not going to help you any. So let me do the following. Let me delete that funnel. Just delete it. Okay, and then we'll start all over again. Create funnel, call it lens play funnel, and lens play funnel. Again, I could call it anything I want. We're just playing today. Lens play funnel. And it's going to create the funnel. And now the first page we're going to create typically is the opt-in page. So I'm going to be very clever and type in opt-in for the first page, opt-in for the slug of that page or the URL of that page. And I'm going to come down here. I have all of my templates. So I'm going to just select opt-in pages. So I just limit the templates to the opt-in pages themselves. I'm going to click Use Template. This is where I was a moment ago. And so I hope that I didn't go too fast there. You could follow it through. I'm going to click Save Page and Edit. So now I actually have my opt-in template up there in front of me, and I can edit the template. So if I just click on in the fields, I can go ahead here, and I'm just going to throw in some text. It doesn't matter what I put in, and you can type in, of course, anything you want in the in these headings. And all you got to do is click in them and edit them. Now, the one thing that I have found is that when I edit these fields, and this is one of my tricks that I found in going through this, I have to save changes at each step. If I don't save the changes, then when I go to the next step, the changes I made in the previous step seem to go away. Now, I don't know if that's a bug in Funnelizer or if that's the way it's actually going to end up working when it's fully launched, but these steps have to be saved. Now, we'll go to our email address. And over here under Edit Form Fields, I get to choose. Email address is, of course, required, and it is the default. It's always going to be there. But if I want to add another field, let's say I want to ask the person for their name or their phone number, I can simply add a new field. And now, when I close that, you see that the field phone number has now been added. So it's that simple to add another field to the form. Save changes. Integrations. There was some discussion on Free Daily Coaching the other day about integrations. And here's what I can tell you about it. If I click on Edit Integrations, I can select a new integration, and in my case, the only integration I've already got established is Aweber. So I can actually just select Aweber. That's my autoresponder. When it says select an integration point, I can select the list in Aweber, tell it to refresh the integrations, and Aweber is now hooked up to my opt-in page. Now, the important message here, and what was discussed the other morning in Bert's call, is that even though in Aweber I have turned off the required opt-in, I've turned off double opt-in, it's still there. And so in order to get rid of double opt-in, if I want to get rid of it, I've got to pick up the phone and call Aweber and get them to really shut it off. They don't seem to understand leads coming in from Funnelizer right now. And maybe that'll get fixed in the future, maybe it won't. And finally, under Actions, when I go to Actions, I have Do Nothing, go to a URL, go to a funnel page. Now, if I select to go to a URL, this is how I can send it to one of the already established MLSP system campaigns. So, for example, if I went back into MLSP and picked one of the campaigns, like Mastery or University or social media or whatever, all I have to do is get the URL for that campaign, tell this to go to a URL, and enter the URL it's going to go to, and Now when somebody enters their information, it's going to go to the URL. If I'm creating a complete sales funnel, then the next page would be the sales page, and I would tell it to go to a funnel page. So right now I don't have a funnel page for it to go to, so it's not going to give me anything to select. So I really can't do that right now. I have to go create that next page before I can do anything with it. Again, save changes. Now, follow the bouncing ball. Here's a couple of critical steps, and if you don't do them, your funnel's going to go kittywonkers. Publish changes. That's important. If I don't publish them, nothing happens. Let me go back to Funnelizer. Next step, Lens Play Funnel. Variations. Right now, there are no variations turned on, so if I go to publish this funnel, it's going to give me an error message. You would think that the variations are turned on, but they're not. Now, variations is where you can do split testing, so I can have two different opt-in pages, for example, and I can split test them. So what I have to do is start this variation. This step is vital. If you don't do it, you're going to get an error message when you try to look at your funnel, look at your opt-in page. And now, once again, publish. So that funnel is in principle published. I can get the URL. There it is. I'm going to copy it, paste it, and bingo, there it is. You can see that it's got the really screwy text that I sort of didn't type in. It's got the second field added, the phone field because I added it in, etc. So you can see that that funnel is actually, or that opt-in page has now been created. So it's really that simple. I'm going to come back off the screen share. Come back to the Hangout. Is that useful for anybody? Bob, you're the only person over here right now. Bob, are you there? Hello? Bob? I
yes,
see you.
Len, yes, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you, yeah.
But nobody can see me. Not that it really matters, but nobody else can see me that I'm here. I was on mute. That's why I wasn't responding. But yeah, I think that was useful because every time you hear it, it helps you. We covered it in Bert's class, and then we did like another one with his workshop. So every time it's like anything else. Especially for me, because I'm not a real tech person. Like yesterday, Debbie helped me with I couldn't get Chrome up, so she actually walked me through it. I actually did it, but she was telling me when you do something. That's at least that's when I start learning, is when I actually do it. If I just hear it, I don't learn it. So it was good. Every time you hear it, it's going to make you better.
Right. Okay. Well, I hope it helped. I wanted to do this for. Oh, Debbie says she can see you now.
All right.
I wanted to do this for a couple of reasons. One is that there was some questions raised on Bert's webinar the other day. And I went back through and I looked at them, and I was able to get the Aweber integration to work.
Okay, good.
But the challenge is in the double opt-in. It's still sitting there. So when somebody opts in, when somebody puts their name and or whatever email information into the opt-in form, it goes to Aweber, and they're going to get an email message that says, "Please confirm that you've actually opted in." And we can choose to turn that off. Apparently, we can choose to turn it off if we call Aweber and talk to them, which I haven't done. And the other thing I wanted to do is, of course, these things are all recorded. So by just walking through this, you now have a recording. We now have a recording that you can refer back to for anyone when they start to use this. Third is, if you have specific questions about how to make this funnelizer work, I've gone through a very extensive, complete funnel, including a long sales page, and I have it up there, and I can go through that with you, and I can show you how to do it. So all that stuff is there, and I'm able to help anyone who wants some help with it. Having said that, I'm going to put a post in the group Lunch with Len group, and I'm going to ask you folks to begin to give me what is it you would like to talk about on these calls. Now, I have my own idea and lists of things, and for example, Funnelizer was something that I thought about today I wanted to touch on briefly. Didn't want to spend a whole lot of time with it, but I wanted to touch on it briefly. So I'd like some feedback from you folks as to what's important, what we can be doing. The other thing that I want to tell you is, we are doing the Motivation Manifesto Mastermind discussion in now 20 minutes. Bob, you want to talk a bit about that?
Yeah, we discussed this, Len. We discussed this in a group. We're going to start over again. I mean, you probably got that message, right? We're going to start from the very beginning.
I didn't get that message.
Yeah, because a lot of people are just getting the book. And
Okay.
it's a new year. Some people are just getting it like just now. So yeah, we posted that inside of the group and went back and forth with a lot of people. So we decided we would probably just start fresh for the whole thing. How is that? I mean, because if you didn't get the message, obviously, I think it would be helpful for most people because there really is no start point on this book. And for people who are just beginning to get into it, I think it would be very helpful if we just kind of like, hey, let's just maybe this time we'll just kind of discuss where we are on this particular one, and then you and I can talk about what we're going to do on the very next one. Okay.
That's fine with me. I'm okay with that. I'm prepared to lead off the discussion today, starting in the third lesson. I'm also prepared to go back to the beginning. So
I think you can start at the very end. When this book is so powerful. I read the final page today. I read
right.
Then I went back and watched the #1 video again today. So I mean, it's just an incredible book. It's a practice. This book is something that we can study forever. I think forever. For me, it's the best book I've ever read.
Okay. Well, I'm okay with that. So when I close off the Lunch with Len webinar here, there's two things going to happen. One is I have a redirect up where I'll send everybody to the Motivation Manifesto opt-in page or sign-in page, just in case you're not signed in. I think everybody is, but just in case. The other is, last time we had a problem. I closed this webinar room and opened the Motivation Manifesto immediately, and we had a problem. And I sent you an email about that, Bob. You know about it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut down and I'm going to reboot my computer, clear cache, so that when we open Motivation Manifesto, we're opening in a clean room. So nobody gets stuck like we did the last time. So hopefully that'll help us. So if nobody has anything else they'd like to add to today's discussion, I've got the chat going. I'm looking. I don't see any questions. I hope going through the Funnelizer just a little bit was helpful. If not, if only just to give you a taste for what's there and what we know about it. And I'm here to help you if you need help when you start into it. So if that's it, I'm going to hit redirect, and everyone's going to get redirected to the sign-in for the Motivation Manifesto. Hope to see you there. We'll be on in 15 minutes.
Thanks, Len. See you guys.
Bye for now. Everybody should be redirecting. I'm going to stop the broadcast.